that I said, Robert, I want to buy your house. I'll give you $1 million for it. How many days to closing? 30? Probably
Yeah.
30.
Best case.
Okay, so you just paid $60,000 and waited a month in order to do your transaction. Now compare that to Bitcoin again, right? 30 minutes, $6, 30 days, $60,000. This is why we don't use property as an energy network.
Bitcoin a better investment than real estate? Michael Saylor explaining why his company MicroStrategy has Bitcoin on the balance sheet and why they didn't go ahead and do real estate. Bitcoin definitely has some advantages against real estate as there's a lot more liquidity. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Bitcoin could ever compete with real estate as an investment long term? What's happening, crypto family? In today's clip, we'll be checking out an interview Michael Saylor did. He's comparing Bitcoin and real estate, why he believes Bitcoin is a better long-term investment than real estate, and why his company MicroStrategy actually invested in Bitcoin and not in other things like gold or real estate. So that'll be in today's clip. Make sure to stay tuned for all this information. He does make some pretty good points here. Something to think about. Definitely, real estate has been one of the best investments over the past 100 years. It's gone up and up and up, especially here in the United States. So it is hard for Bitcoin to compete with real estate, but does it have a lot more upside potential than real estate? A lot of people think the real estate market is inflated. The prices are too high. They are like $400,000 for average price in the United States right now, and people just can't afford it. So is Bitcoin a more appetizing investment? We'll be checking out what Michael Saylor says, but he also talks about why you should be comparing Bitcoin to real estate versus comparing Bitcoin to the other crypto assets because it has more similarities to real estate than the other crypto assets. So let's go ahead and check out today's clip. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and let's go ahead and play the video.
When I send $100 million from New York to Tokyo, I don't mind spending $5. I probably won't mind spending $50. When Bitcoin has $250 trillion of energy into it, there's no reason why you can't pay $25 billion in transaction fees. People forget, again, this is the problem of the crypto community. They're fixated upon a prototypical coin network that's a lab experiment, and they're comparing it to Bitcoin instead of comparing Bitcoin to actual monetary or asset networks in the real world. So for example, here's a real asset network. It's called real estate. I have $100 trillion of real estate. You have a house. Let's say you have $1 million house. You want to hold, this is a good example. Let's assume that real estate is my energy network. If you want to actually carry a $1 million house 100 years, in Florida, there's a 2% real estate tax. You would pay $20,000 a year every year for 100 years, assuming that the house was capped and not reappraised. And so you're in essence going to lose the house in 50 years, right? Under the best of circumstances, you're going to lose all your wealth in about 20 years if you store your wealth or you store your monetary energy in a real estate network in Florida. So if you go to any other real estate jurisdiction, they've all got different tax rates over time. But this is why you can't really store energy in property, because the tax rate generally will bleed you out with somewhere between 20 years and 100 years. Now, that's the inflation rate or the energy loss rate over time. What about over space? What if you want to transfer $1 million house? What if I want to buy it from you? So you want to exchange energy exchange. You want to exchange the energy in the house? Well, it's a 6% transaction fee. And at the point that I said, Robert, I want to buy your house, I'll give you $1 million for it. How many days to closing? 30? Probably 30.
Best case.
Okay, so you just paid $60,000 and waited a month in order to do your transaction. Now compare that to Bitcoin again, right? 30 minutes, $6, 30 days, $60,000. This is why we don't use property as an energy network. By the way, some people do. You could ask people point blank, how are you going to actually give your money to your granddaughter? Oh, I'm going to buy property. Buy it where? California? Florida? Where? It's the same counterparty rate. By the way, it's worse than gold.
Yeah.
You can move 3,000 pounds of gold in 30 days for $150,000, $200,000. You can't move $100 million worth of property in 30 days to another country. It's illiquid, right? It could take you 3 years to sell the house. It'll take you 3 years to find a counterparty. It'll take you 30 days to do the transaction.
So if we compare Bitcoin here to the average price of a home in the United States, looking at these two different charts, we can see how they have performed over the years. If we see back here, before the U.S. housing market just took off back here in April of 2020, that was around the COVID dump for Bitcoin. The average price for a home was $318,000. Now that has shot up to $467,000. So that's up around 50%. If we look at the Bitcoin chart and look at that April time frame of 2020, we can see that's going to be right around here. Bitcoin was at around $5,800. Currently, we're up 321%. So you can see there, Bitcoin has outperformed real estate. Over the past 10 years, Bitcoin's definitely outperformed real estate. But looking at the real estate chart, you can see it has gone up and up and up. And it's kind of hard to compete with that. I mean, U.S. real estate has been a great investment over the past 50 years. But Bitcoin has been an even better investment over the past 10 years. And with real estate, you can leverage your money up, get a loan. You know, you won't get liquidated on anything that you leverage because it's guaranteed by the bank. And for long-term performance, you can see since 1970, the average home is actually up around 2,000% since 1970. If you compare that to something like gold, gold back in 1970 was trading for around $34, and gold's currently trading for $1,900, up 5,400%. So gold has outperformed real estate over all those years. So real estate does seem like the safer bet. So there may be more upside potential for Bitcoin in years to come. Real estate will probably continue to go up and up and up as the government continues to print more and more money, as the dollar continues to lose value year after year after year. But Bitcoin will go up as well. It will most likely outperform the average household, especially since houses are so expensive now. I mean, just to do a 2x, that's a $1 million average house in the United States. So something to think about, guys. But thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you found any value, make sure to hit that like button. My name is Aaron from Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.